with regards to AI, everyone's moving towards it to help elevate their ABM. Are there any kind of like pitfalls that we should be looking out for and trying to avoid?
Yeah. Oh man, is there? Yeah. My favorite quote around really around technology, but it applies to AI
Hmm.
is, if you don't have a problem before implementing technology, you absolutely have a problem after. And what that means is you can't just adopt AI or
Right.
apply AI just for
Right.
the sake of it. There has to be a reason, and then on top of that, you have to have a measurable KPI that you can determine whether what you did was good or bad or indifferent.
Hmm.
So I think that the pitfall here is especially teams that are being told by their CMO or some leader that, hey, we need to be adopting AI. I told the board or I told the CEO that we're going to spend X on AI or we're going to put X amount of resources into AI. And then they go and they run towards whatever tool has AI in the name, or they
Hmm.
find something and then they buy it and adopt it. You're going to have a problem after that because you're not intentional about using it. So I think it's always valuable to pause first and do that upfront discovery. Like I was saying, is there a problem with sales? Is there a problem with lead scoring? Do you have a problem with scaling content creation? Do you have a problem with data, with targeting, with segmentation? There are so many AI tools and processes out there that can solve those problems, but you have to know what the problem is first. So I'd say start there, and then
Hmm.
I'd start kind of small. This is the traditional advice with anything around like growing and scaling. Start small, prove it, figure out who's going to be involved, what the processes are, who are the stakeholders, how are you going to measure it, and do that in a small, like independent use case, and then look to grow from there and scale it out.
But also on that note, with AI in organizations, what have been some of your most interesting use cases for AI in ABM, or some of the most exciting ones you think that might be on the horizon?
Yeah, I'll give you two. I'll give you one from kind of the early days and then
Hmm.
something more today that I'm excited about. And the
Hmm.
first was I remember one of the beginning ABM programs I was running, and one of the biggest challenges I had was categorizing and basically organizing job titles.
Hmm.
So I wanted to personalize off of the job title primarily, and then connect the job title to a bunch of other dimensions like industry, vertical, sub industry, and then some like internal first party data as well. But the job title was the thing that was holding me back because job titles are just so inherently random,
Yeah.
right? There's
Yeah.
nobody follows a defined taxonomy. And this was like right around when ChatGPT and Gemini and Anthropic started coming out. And I took a simple spreadsheet of like 30,000 job titles, and I ran a prompt across that, and within literally a few minutes, I mean, I spent some decent time setting it up, but within a few minutes I was able to have all of those job titles categorized into a field that I
Mm.
could then pipe into the CRM and marketing automation platform. Now I had a defined structured field that I could target off of. And I think now that's a little bit table stakes, although I still think teams struggle with this, especially
Mm.
teams that have a database of 1 million, 2 million plus contacts. It's hard to do that. So I think that's like nobody's talking about that, right? Like
Mm.
job title analysis and categorization, but that's a wonderful use case. And when I was able to do that, it unlocked a world of opportunity. So I think you start small with something like that, right? Now, fast forward 5, 6 years to where we are today. There's some amazing technology out there that can allow marketers to do more predictive analysis, and particularly predictive lead scoring. So I think the traditional way of lead scoring is, let's take HubSpot, right? You set up a behavioral score, you set up an engagement score, and it's comprised of pretty stale, static data, right? It's demographics, firmographics, technographics, and those things get loaded in and then they get ignored for 6 to 12 months. the engagement data, if you're a little bit more sophisticated, maybe you're piping in real-time signals of how they interact with your content, your emails, your ads, and things like that, and you can get a little bit better about what they're doing. But what you're missing is understanding what makes a good customer, or a good lead, right? You're just applying the score. And so now predictive lead scoring really throws out that whole model and says, we're actually just going to analyze all of your best customers. We're going to reverse engineer the journey that they went through. And then we're going to pull in real-time data as you are out there marketing. And we're going to continuously update this predictive lead scoring model. And we're going to put the leads in front of sales that you exactly want to.
Right.
To me, that is a misalignment comes from, right? Marketing thinks the MQLs are good. Sales think they suck. And marketing sends them over, sales gets mad. And so, imagine now it's like, hey, we aligned on this and now we have, some machine learning and some predictive analysis that's doing it for us.